Forward. Halt. Left. 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 Right. Your left. 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 Right. Down, down. Down, down.
Arkansas boy with a lifelong plan took the oath like his old man, then turned around proud and shook his hand. L.A. kid stood right behind, took a deep breath and signed on the line, while tears streamed from his mama's eyes. They hopped right up on that Greyhound bus, swapping stories. They laughed and cussed, and they talked about the girls that they loved. They made a pact, shined up their boots, got the call before it hit the news. No clue what they were about to do.
Good afternoon. How are you? I'm on the wrong scene. Welcome to Finish This Fight podcast on this Thursday afternoon, y'all. Hey, we've got a pretty special guest coming up here in a few minutes. He's running a few minutes late, but y'all, this is the last show before we leave for New York. Sunday morning, in fact, Joshua and Crystal, his wife, are in the air right now. But Sunday morning, I'm leaving to Fort Lauderdale, Florida to go to New York City. And on Monday, my friend, Iraqi combat veteran, warrior, hero, is going to take his first steps in many years, y'all. He was wounded in 2003, got hit twice in the chest. Had his steel plates on, so it didn't. Well, let me just rephrase that. First time he got hit by two slugs right in the chest. Had a steel plate on. Spent 3 days in the infirmary. Went back out. Later on, got hit with a debris from a mortar landing really close to him. It didn't explode, but it threw gravel all into his face, and he had 2 weeks in the infirmary. And then he actually got side blasted by a daggum mortar, an 82-inch mortar, and threw him into a 12-foot bunker and broke his legs and broke his ankles and he hit his tailbone, splintered his tailbone, knocked himself out. Long story short, since 2003, Joshua's been fighting to regain his health and his abilities to move. He's on again, off again, been able to walk through the last many years until 2.5 years ago, when there was an old injury that finalized. It snapped, and it put him in a wheelchair. He's paralyzed right now from the chest down, but next Monday, finish this fight. Foundation, myself, Travis Conover, director of the movie Finish This Fight. We're going to be in New York. We're going to film Joshua taking his first steps. We're going to live stream it right here on Patriot Prayer Network and X and several of my other people that are involved. So hang tight. If you haven't had a chance to donate, scrolling right here on the bottom, givesendgo.com/finish this fight. We're $7,300 short of our $15,000 goal. So we're halfway there for this trip to New York. Nobody's paying for that. The VA ain't helping. Nobody. It's coming from Finish This Fight. It's coming from you guys. I'm out of money. I've put over 6 figures into this thing since I started. That's the first time I've ever asked for money. I need your help. But Joshua is worthy. Givesendgo.com/finish this fight. Go there. And in fact, let me show you a little something right now. Take a look at this.
Hi guys, this is Joshua Home, and this is my voice. It's getting better. Actually, this is the miracle. I got my voice back today, and it's fading, but it's I'm able to be heard. And so I'm so excited to tell you guys, man, that very soon I'll be back on my feet, and definitely got your 6. And I love each and every one of you guys. And can't wait to share more of what we're doing here in Texas and get our project on board with you guys and see what we can do to make a difference, man. One step, one day at a time. Love you guys.
Y'all, that man is building that retreat that you just saw in that video from his wheelchair to help other veterans and other first responders to have a place to come and heal. A retreat for them to come and heal, whether it's PTSD, whether they need some specialized treatment. He's building that from a wheelchair, serving others. We now have an opportunity to serve him. If you got 10, 20 bucks laying around, skip a number one value meal from McDonald's today. If you don't, you're going to look like me. Skip that meal. Throw that down to givesendgo.com/finish this fight. If we just had 1,000 people give $10, we've hit our goal plus. Now the total cost on these exoskeletons, $150,000. And we've got about 5 or 6 months to come up with that money. But I've only got a few days to come up with $7,300. So help us out. GiveSendGo.com/finish this fight. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I want to introduce you to a friend of mine. He and I met about 7 or 8 months ago. We released Finish This Fight, Diary of a Pissed Off American Soldier. Soft released that in November. We got some things we're working on with that. We'll tell you about it another time. But I was on a podcast with another guy that's he's a documentarian on his own right. He's an author. He's been to Congress and testified before Congress. He's a 24-year veteran of the Border Guard. He's just a badass, y'all. And I love this dude. We have a great time when we get together. Y'all say hello to JJ Carrell.
How you doing, my friend?
JJ, I'm fantastic, brother. How are you, man?
I'm good, man. Can you believe two guys like us actually filmed something and got it on the big screen?
It's almost beyond belief to me. I thought it was a big deal for me to come back into music. I came back in at 52 years old to music. I mean, I'm not the sharpest knife in the drawer to do something like that. And then here we are.
Yeah, we're here, and you're doing something way bigger than me. You're doing something that has a direct impact on a soldier and a warrior. You and I talked about this on my podcast earlier today. That's going to come out next week. I'm infuriated when feeling when you show me these videos, because at it from the perspective of why are you hustling to make money for one skeleton when where's our government? Wait a minute. We just sent $300 billion to Ukraine, where none of that money is going to the Ukrainian, quote, military. So you have money for that, but you don't have money for this. This is the upside down world that we live in. And I'll be quite honest with you, it pisses me off.
Brother, I get it. It pisses me off too. I mean, until 2017, and you and I have had this conversation, I was one of those guys that just believed my government had my best interest at heart, cared about me, and I fought for this country. They were going to take care of me. That's a bunch of crap, man. It's just not the truth. And so I get it. And we should be pissed off about it. However, here's the difference between you and I, or with you and I, compared to a lot of other people. And if this shoe fits y'all, just put it on and wear it and take your little paddle that I'm getting ready to give you. Because I think the reason we are where we are in this country, the majority of the folks have become lazy and complacent and comfortable through the decades of ease. Man, I'm an 80s child. I'm older than you, JJ, by a little bit. And when I grew up, it was freedom. You just walked out and you ran into freedom when you walked out your door.
Yep.
I mean, it was just there. It's not that case anymore. It's not that way anymore. Our freedom is at risk, and it's at risk in the biggest way in my lifetime. But we were brought up to be non-confrontational. I may not like it, but somebody else will fix it. Y'all ain't nobody going to fix it. Ain't nobody going to do it. And JJ served this country for 24 years. Talk about the Border Patrol there, brother. Tell us about that for
Well, that was a great time in my life because I was coming out of college, wanted to play professional football, didn't work out, and I knew I wanted to be like my father. My father was a Secret Service agent, and I knew I didn't want to do that, but I still wanted to be like my dad. And the Border Patrol was hiring during a government freeze, and I got the job. And my first duty station was San Diego, of all places in the world. I got to San Diego. My gosh, I was in love. And I went there and I spent a decade there on the border, in the Tijuana border, and I rose up through the ranks and ended up as a deputy patrol agent in charge in Murrieta, California, inland station that focused on highway interdiction of drugs and human smuggling. And my last year in the Border Patrol was Joe Biden's first year, so I witnessed firsthand the treason that this man and his administration put on America. Treason was so bad that within 4 years, 30 million people crossed the border and were released into America. I left. I was one of the few guys.
Let me just interject something here. I want the folks to understand something. First, you've been 23 years border guard at that point, and the first year in the Biden administration is what absolutely shocked you.
Well, I have been lied to. I did 5 administrations, right? So what I did: Clinton, Bush, Obama, Trump, and Biden. The only president that actually did something, that was Donald Trump. And Donald Trump was hamstrung the first 2 years of his administration when Paul Ryan and Mitch McConnell, who I believe are traitors as well, sabotaged everything on the border. And it wasn't until Donald Trump was able to wrangle some control and began to build the wall. And so at the end of Trump's term in office, he had built 25% of the wall, and we were arresting between 500 and 600 people a day. That's nothing. And then the very first day Joe Biden takes office, we go to 5,000 a day. And it climbs to over 20,000 a day for 4 years.
Brother, I grew up in a town of 8,000 people. That's double plus daily the population of the town that I grew up in. Double plus.
Yeah. So there were days in December 2023 was the apex. They were arresting over 20,000 people a day and releasing 95 to 97% of them. But what they don't talk about, Glenn, is at the same time they're making these arrests, 80% of the border was unmanned, meaning it was completely wide open. So you had at least another 20,000 that crossed the border undetected and absconded. We have no idea who these people are. So we went from the high of Donald Trump of winning. We actually felt we were on a winning team to the depths of despair. So much despair that we actually had a suicide epidemic in the United States Border Patrol for 4 years under Joe Biden because Joe Biden's a traitor. And I want him arrested. I don't care if he has dementia. I want his ass thrown in jail. I want Alejandro Mayorkas and Vice President Harris. I want them all brought up on charges against America because this was not done by accident. It was done intentionally, strategically, on purpose. And you have to ask the question, Glenn, why? Why would your government do this? Well, they did it because they want to fundamentally transform the United States of America, period. And they did it through demographics.
And I want the folks listening to understand something here. JJ did this for 24 years. The last year he was there was Biden's first year. It blew him away, broke his heart, made him mad, pissed him off. And he did something about it. Y'all, let me show you something. Go to jjcarrell.com. Purchase his movie, What is Treason? #traffic. Did I say that correctly?
Yep, you're absolutely right. So, yep. Please do that. It's about child sex trafficking. Your government, my government, our government, traffic children. Not my words now. Don't believe me. Listen to RFK Jr. And he said HHS, which is Health and Human Services, facilitated the trafficking of children to put them in both sex and into slavery by the tune of over 500,000.
JJ, I've known you now for, I don't know, 7, 8, 9 months, something like that. And you're a good man. You do a great work. You've got that movie, but you also released another one that was similar to that. And I can't ever remember the title.
It was
What
the
is
same.
Treason?
Yeah. So what is treason invaded? And why we did that, we were supposed to just do one movie, Glenn. You know how hard it is to just film one movie. My business partner, Ryan Maddock, came back and said, hey, man, you won't believe this, but we have two films and we can't combine them. They have to be separate. One's about child sex trafficking. And we were both blown away. We didn't know the enormity of the child sex trafficking, and then it blew us away. And then we created this first documentary, went to a film festival, won a film festival. In fact, you know what? As I'm talking about this, I'm going to get you in contact with the film festival. I didn't even think, I'm sorry, Glenn, I didn't even think about this. I'm going to make the connection with you. There's a film festival in Texas that you need to put your film in. I'll make that happen.
Brother, I'll tell you this. When God told me to do this, I was like a fifth grader thinking I could go to the Olympics and pole vault. I had no idea what I was getting into. Had no idea what I was doing. And I've heard it all. I've heard, well, man, you're just out there trying to make money. You're a patriot. You're a grifter. I put over 6 figures out of my pocket into this thing. Truthfully, I think I've brought back in about $3,200. Yeah.
It's bad, right? And people, you're doing God's work. You're doing it, man. It will come back to you in spades. That's just how God works. He just, whatever you give to him, he gives you back tenfold, right?
Well, the reason I said that too, though, JJ, is it's easy to point fingers. Well, they're doing that for this and they're doing, but what are y'all doing?
Yeah.
If you're not doing something, if you're not helping, quit pointing fingers, man, get out of the way. Because there's some warriors that I know that are making a dadgum difference, and JJ Carrell is one of them. So talk to me now. What are you doing now, JJ? What's your big focus right now?
My big focus now is I have my own podcast. You just go to jjcarrell.com. It pops up on there, but I do it on the platform of worldviewtube.com. And I have a nightly podcast, and I talk like you and I are talking now. I talk about current events. I talk about public corruption and the border and the sovereignty and rescue of the United States of America. And I have a new book out called Treason. I did a book called Invaded. It was a bestseller on Amazon about my time in the Border Patrol in the first 2 years of Joe Biden's administration. And then I just put out in February my second book called Treason. It was the total 4 years of Joe Biden to prove to America this man, being his administration, committed treason against the United States of America. It is undeniable what that man did to the United States of America. 30 million people in 4 years. And if you don't like me or you don't trust me, and that's fine, I want you to verify everything that I say. Don't trust me. And if you trust the government and you want to go off of the government's own data, they admit to 18 million. 18 million. Donald Trump has now admitted to 21 million. They just haven't got to the truth yet. They're getting there. Right. But if you don't like my data, are you telling me you're okay with 18 to 21 million illegal aliens coming into your country in 4 years?
You know what? I'm a country boy, but I did graduate high school, and I did the math. At 18 million, that's the total population of around 7 of the smallest states in the United States. Mm-hmm. 18 million. If you go up to 30, you're probably looking at the 12 to 14 least populated states total we've been invaded by.
But it's worse than that, because when you look at the data, if you give me just 1 minute, I'll explain how I come to this number. Right now in America, there's 50 million plus illegal aliens in America. 50 million. How do I come up with that number? Did I just pull it out of my hat? No. I've been tracking this since I started the Border Patrol in 1997. In 2019, Yale and MIT did a joint study, and they published it. And they took all the demographic data, all the legal and illegal demographic data, all the census, and crushed it and put it into an algorithm and ran that algorithm 1 million times. And Yale and MIT came out and said the high number of illegal aliens in America is 29 million, and the average is 22. Every single person jumped on the 22 million and said, that's the number, that's the number. And I knew it was wrong, but I said, okay, that's going to be my baseline. 22 million in 2019. This is before Joe Biden came in. I'm telling you, it's 30 million. That's 52 million. Let's just play the game that the government's telling you correctly. 22 million plus 18 million. That's 40 million people. We're going to split hairs between my 52 and their 40. Are you okay with 40 million illegal aliens? That means there's 1 in 6 to 1 in 7 residents in the United States of America is an illegal alien. We never recover from this as a country if we do remove every last one of them. And we're beginning, unfortunately, and I knew this was going to happen, we are now beginning to hear the cowbells, the clarion call for amnesty. You started with Donald Trump through his Agri Secretary Rollins, and now you're hearing Marie Salazar from Florida begin to make the clarion call. We need amnesty. No, we don't. We need everyone out of our country.
Well, JJ, can I ask you a hard question?
Sure.
This is a hard line show, man. I'm a hard line dude. 24 years of Border Patrol. You've written a book, written a couple of books, got a couple of documentaries out. All of it's about trafficking and illegal border crossings and things like that. Are you anti-immigrant?
No, actually, throughout my career in 24 years, some of the greatest patriots I ever met were people that naturalized, legal immigrants. And I'm all for it. It's like when you're a Christian, right? You grow up Christian, you're born and raised Christian, you just assume things, right? When you talk to somebody that has converted to Christianity, they have a different view on it because they've been on the other side, and they're very aggressive in the best way. Like they have a fervor for God, and they're talking about God. Same thing with naturalized legal citizens. They have this overwhelming love and respect for the United States of America. We, America, legally immigrate 1.2 million people in our country every year. That is set by Congress. So when you hear AOC, Paul Ryan's, Mitch McConnell's, all those people call us all the vile names. You're Nazis. No. I swore an oath to follow and enforce the laws that you jackasses put on the books. If you don't like the laws, why don't you change them? But I'm enforcing your laws, and you're telling me that I'm a racist. Well, why don't you go to the House of Congress and change the law? And you won't change it because you know no one wants it changed. And that's the real secret. In fact, if you ask the average American, almost 80% of Americans want legal immigration decreased. On top of, they want the illegal immigration shut down. I think, Glenn, if you ask me, what do I want to do? I think there needs to be a complete moratorium on legal immigration and destroy, and then you go attack illegal, and then we get our house in order, and then we decide what we want to do, and then we make those decisions and move forward.
You know, I live in South Florida, JJ, and there's a ton of immigrants down here, a ton. And I'm going to probably say a big majority came across some point illegally, because it's not an easy process. It's absolutely has not been an easy process. And there's some bad eggs in that bunch of people that came down. I know some that are very good people though that came in the wrong way, but ended up getting paperwork and a permanent residency and green cards and things like that in place, and they're here pretty safe right now until they become citizens. My opinion of this has changed since I've been down here. I think we should do exactly what you're talking about. It needs to be completely reimagined and changed. But I do believe there needs to be some things that are easier about immigration, but maybe vetting even a little tougher. Does that make sense? Easier process, vetting maybe a little bit tougher.
Well, why is the process difficult? 2 reasons. We don't want to make it so easy that anybody and their mom and dad can come in. We want you come into America. We need you to be beneficial to us. It's not us being beneficial to you. You have to be beneficial to America. Yeah. That's what immigration is. Second reason why it's difficult. And in the normal process, it's not that difficult. But it's difficult when you have 50 million people that jumped in line. Why can't U.S. citizens bring their spouses to America? Why can't I immigrate here legally? Why is it taking me a decade? Well, let me just put it in layman's terms. Let's say Top Gun comes out, Maverick. Everybody wants to see it, right? It's the huge Tom Cruise movie. So I go online and I get tickets for me, my wife, and my son. And we're so excited. We paid our tickets. We got popcorn. I got all our drinks, and we're going to have them scan my phone that has a QR code. And the guy goes, I'm sorry, we're full. Okay, hold on a second. No. Don't you see my ticket? Yeah, JJ. We just let in 500 illegal aliens to jump in front of you, and they're going to watch the show, and that's just the way it's going to be.
Yeah.
No, wait. That's not America. I paid my money. This is my ticket. So now you take that, have 50 million people are standing in front of you in the movie, and you're trying to get in legally. You've paid the fee already. And I could see the gates that let me into America, but the American politicians allowed illegal aliens by 50 million to jump in front of you, and now you're never getting in. That's why it's so difficult, Glenn. They destroyed the system on purpose, and the only resolution that to them is flush the system, aka amnesty, and they will do it, and that will destroy America.
You know, that's a whole other deep rabbit hole, and I want to come back with you whenever we've got some time. I'd like to do an hour or 2 hour show with you at some point, bring in a couple of guests, because I think we're a pretty cool tag team. Have you still got a few minutes, or you got to jump and go do on another?
I got a couple minutes for you, my friend.
I want to throw something down, then I want us to talk about it real quick, because I've got a mission in front of me that's bigger than anything I've ever done. I want to play something for y'all. Here, hang tight. Hey, y'all. It's Glenn from Finish This Fight. I want to share with you something right now that is deep in my. This is Joshua Holmes. Joshua served with honor in Iraq in 2003, but a mortar round explosion damaged him and wounded him from the chest down.
Hi, I'm Travis Conover, director of Finish This Fight music video and Finish This Fight documentary. Joshua was wounded 19 years ago in battle, and because of those injuries, he's been in a wheelchair for the last several years. But now, for the first time, he's going to get the chance to stand up and walk again. On July 21st, Joshua is traveling to New York City to be fitted for an exoskeleton that will change his life forever.
But y'all, he can't do it alone. The VA, unfortunately, is not paying for this technology. Total cost of one of these units is about $150,000. But right now, we're raising $15,000 to send him to New York in preparation for this journey that's going to be monumental. Imagine what it would feel like being stuck in that chair for years and finally being able to step and walk around.
You can be the reason that Joshua gets to walk again. Please donate today. Just click on the link and help Joshua finish this fight. Thank you so much for standing with him.
That's powerful, man.
Yeah, you know what? The hardest thing I've ever done in my life is what we're doing right now. As conservatives, as Christians, we're not notorious for funding good things.
Yeah,
we've got these fingers going in 27 different directions, and my thing is more important than your thing, and your thing is more important than his thing. And you know, but if we were BLM and we wanted to go riot in Oklahoma City and throw down and throw bricks, and it'd be funded, and there'd be pallets of bricks waiting for us.
Mm-hmm.
It blows my mind how that happens. So I hate asking for money. I've never asked until about 3 or 4 weeks ago. But truthfully, the mission that God has put in front of me is about a $15 million mission, JJ, over the course of the next 18 months. The first money is $15,000, and we're about $7,300 short. But what does that make you feel? I know you've got a huge mission in your life, and you've seen what we're doing with Joshua Holmes. What's that do for you, brother?
Well, it makes me want to. I'm sitting here. I just went on to Give, Send, Go to donate, because I think that where else am I going to send my money if I have some money? It's not, it has to be $1,000, $10,000, $1 million.
Nope.
You just do $5 or $10, Glenn. I've seen it. I did this for Give, Send, Go to help fund part of my documentary. Just like you, I came out of pocket 6 figures, some Give, Send, Go, and you say, it's $5. It doesn't make a difference. It does. It adds up so fast, and before you know it, you're in the ball game and you're making money to do your project. Is there a better project right now if I told you that basically 100% of whatever you donate is going to go to help a wounded warrior stand up and walk again. Come on, man. That's an easy sale to me. I mean, that's and what's $10? So part of being a good Christian and being somebody that has some metal behind them is sacrifice. So you can sacrifice stopping at a grocery store or service station, getting a Monster, getting a $10 coffee, and just send $10 to Glenn. Glenn's not going to New York City and going to go eat at the finest restaurants. I said this when you left my show. I said, give money to Glenn, and this is why. Because Glenn's going to use all of it for this soldier. Glenn may use $5 to grab a hot dog off a stand or run through McDonald's and get the cheapest value meal as he's running to help this happen. So all your money's going to go to this warrior. And I think Glenn, when you get this gentleman, this exoskeleton, I think it will be the beginning. I think it will be a flood, because not only will you be able to show a before and after, that's powerful, man. When you see where the money's going, you're not YouTube Bono making hundreds of millions of dollars and they do 98% to the administration. You're not the Clinton Foundation that's doing 90-something% to the administration cost. I would bet with you, and I know you, almost all, if not all, money's going to this project. So this is easy sale to me, Glenn.
Yeah. JJ, I appreciate it. I'm a little bit disturbed that you're judging me by my looks, thinking I'm going to be eating McDonald's. It kind of bothers me a little bit.
I don't mind McDonald's, my friend. I'm not judging you. I'm not body shaming you.
Oh, that tells me
don't be so sensitive.
I got to get my butt back to the gym, brother. I'll tell you, every time I do, I get kicked in the teeth, you know. JJ Carrell, you are absolutely a friend of mine. I'm so happy we had a chance to meet on a podcast about 8 months ago. I can't wait till the time we get a chance to meet face to face. And I got a feeling there may be some opportunities for us to work together down the road. JJ Carrell, y'all, he's the real deal. JJCarrell.com. Check out his books. Check out his movies. Check out his podcast. It's a daily, I believe, isn't it, JJ?
Yep.
Aren't you?
Every day at 5 Central, 6 Eastern. Glenn, always great talking to you, man. You always give me some hope and optimism, and that is something that is dire need in my life at times because of what we deal with. But thank you, and I hope and pray you and I can work together in the future. That would be an honor.
We're going to make it happen, brother. And next Monday, we'll be live streaming Joshua Holmes' first steps, one way or the other.
That's incredible. All right. Thank you, Glenn. Take care, brother.
Thank you, brother. Y'all, JJ Carrell is a friend of mine. He's a good dude. JJCarrell.com. Go check him out. We're going to end this thing probably a little bit early because I don't want to just sit here and rattle trap and throw words out that are empty to fill up the rest of the time. Know this. God called me to a mission at 52 years old. At 50 years old, I was sitting in a jail cell. Been arrested, spent 73 days in 2 different jails. First 23 didn't know why I'd been arrested. The last 51 found out that a former business partner had embezzled from some clients I'd given him when I turned the company back over to him. And I spent 51 more days there, came back and lost everything. But turned 50 years old. My birthday was in a jail, an 8x10, 23 hours a day for 73 days. God has used that. I lost everything. God has used that and brought me back into a place of service, y'all. I've regained everything that I lost, but I've also put everything that I've gained on the line for this mission. And I thought I was just writing a song. I did a show with General Flynn 3 years ago, raising money for an organization that was putting an exoskeleton on a paralyzed Marine so he could walk again. Broke my heart. Don't think I'll ever recover from it. Don't think I ever want to recover from it. But when I wrote the song, went to shoot the music video last summer, found out they really weren't helping veterans much anymore. And God just whispered, he said, "That's okay, son, we're going to do it." And so we did. And we've got the music, Finish This Fight, the music video on YouTube. Check it out at Glenn Baker Band on YouTube. We've got this podcast now, Finish This Fight. I'm in the middle of writing a book that'll be out in 4 months. And we've now got the foundation, the Finish This Fight Foundation. And this Monday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, 4 days, Joshua Holm will be taking his first steps out of his wheelchair in many years with an exoskeleton in a clinical environment. So the prototype for this self-balancing exoskeleton is going to be available by the end of this year, first of next year. But he's going to walk on Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, and we're going to film it, and we're going to have a little mini doc for you guys to look at. We're going to be raising 150 grand over the next year, but I'm going to do it in a lot of different ways. We may even have a musical tour around the country. There's a lot of things that we're looking at. But guys, thank you for your support. Thank you for your prayers. Thank you for your kindness. Thank you for your bitterness. Some people that are throwing darts, it keeps me sharp, man. I'm dodging. I mean, it keeps me moving. But just know this, God loves you. You know, JJ was talking about Christianity a while ago, and when it really gets a hold of you, when Jesus really gets a hold of you, you know it because you see a change. You see a change in heart. You see a change in action. And God loves you. And if you haven't bought the movie Finish This Fight, go to finishthisfight.us. $10.99. If you don't want to donate through Give, Send, Go buy the movie. Finishthisfight.us. $10.99. You own it forever. You can stream it on your TV, on your phone, on your tablet, whatever. Go get that. But I'm going to give you a little teaser towards the end. I believe we're in a position in our country right now. The reason we are where we are is because God was moved away from being number one in our country and in our lives. You know, the family is destroyed. My family was destroyed. I've been divorced for almost 20 years. God was moved out of our hearts and out of our lives as being important. And when you move light, and God is light, he says he is light, he is love. When you move the light away, the darkness starts entering. And man, if you look around, I don't care who you are. I don't care what you believe. When you look around, you got to see the evil that is coming out and just not even hiding anymore. Well, I think it's time for us to have a revival. And so I challenge you, if you don't know Jesus, if you don't know God, go somewhere quiet, just you and him, and just call out and ask him to reveal himself to you. And he'll do that. And that's what we put in the movie. The last 3 minutes is a call to action to get to know God, your creator, the one that loves you. Just call out to him and ask him to reveal himself to you. But when you do that, be careful, because you're going to have a decision to make. And I'm going to promise you, my life is amazing, y'all. I'm 57 years old. At 52, I came back into music. My music has been played all over the United States and all over the world. My film has been all over the world. This podcast is being seen by thousands and thousands of people every week. And now I'm getting a chance to help a paralyzed veteran to walk again, with a goal of doing over 100 in the next 18 months. And we're going to make it happen. God is good. He loves to give. He loves to encourage his children. Find out if that's you or not. If not, go find out a way to make it happen. Just call out to him. Ask him to reveal himself, and he will. You ain't got to change anything. He'll point out what needs to be worked on, and he'll work with you. Y'all, my name is Glenn Baker. I am the founder of Finish This Fight, the podcast, the movie, and the foundation. And I love you, and I appreciate your support. FinishThisFight.us. Go there. If you'd like to donate, go to givesendgo.com/finishthisfight. Every dollar is going to help Joshua walk again. And there's going to be a time soon when you won't hear me asking about money anymore. We're going to get this thing done. But right now it's important. This young man is worthy. And I thank you for your support. With that, we're going to end early, and I'm going to let you go. I'll see you on the other side.
Forward, halt, left, 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 right. Your left, 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 right. Down,
Arkansas boy with a lifelong plan took the oath like his old man, then turned around proud and shook his hand. L.A. right behind, took a deep breath and signed on the line, while tears streamed from his mama's eyes. They hopped right up on that Greyhound bus, swapping stories. They laughed and cussed, and they talked about the girls that they loved. They made a pact, shined up their boots, got the call